All right, so let's find a comfortable seated position. You just gonna stay there? Okay. Oh, there she is. Rest our hands on our knees. Close the eyes. Soften the face and the jaw. Finding ease in the body. And allow yourself to settle. So I'm not sure about you, but it seems for me that everything is sort of just going really, really fast in terms of news and things to keep up with. And that really can distract us from the things that matter. And so we'll spend the next hour as a return and a remembrance of these things. So we'll begin to slow the breath down. Consciously deepen the breath. Perhaps you choose a number like 4, 6, or 8 to inhale and exhale to. Feel the shoulders relax and the heart space open. The sits bones connecting with the mat. Your legs, feet, and ankles. Not holding on to any tension all the way to the tips of the toes. A scan of the body to notice the areas where tension wants to be, or where tension seems to be held onto. These areas where your body may be prone to expressing its stress. And send your next inhale to those spots. Allow them to soften with your exhale. In this quiet, calm space of contemplation, taking a moment to find your center, to find the place of peace and calm and awareness that resides within you. With our inhale, we'll sweep the arms up to the sky. We'll bring the palms to touch. And we'll exhale the hands to the heart space. And we pause here to dedicate our practice. We plant that dedication in the heart space and seal it with one full breath. We'll drop our hands down to the mat, fingertips to the mat, and just begin by dropping your right ear towards your right shoulder. If you're following along with the music, we should start that music now. We'll drop the chin to the chest. And then draw the ear towards the opposite shoulder. Just allowing release through the neck, jaw, and shoulders. So as we begin our movement, begin our asana practice, approaching this practice with the idea of moving from our calm center of peace and presence, awareness. Drop the chin towards the chest again. And we'll just start to kind of rock the chin side to side, tracing the collarbones with the chin. Sometimes in our world, it's very evident when we approach things when we're not feeling calm, feeling rushed or stressed, and having a lack of mindfulness. But today, approaching this practice with that sense of calm, peace, and mindfulness, we'll start to draw circles with the heart, bringing it forward, and then to side and to the back, moving with your own breath. So we're inhaling as we draw forward, allowing the lungs and chest to open. Exhale, it's kind of curling back, a little bit of contraction. Heart opens between the shoulder blades. And we just move here in a way that feels intuitive to us. The next time you're back in the exhale, the next inhale will come towards the front and begin to move in the opposite direction. We'll return to stillness here. Plant both feet to the mat. We're going to cross our right leg over our left thigh, figure 4 style. Walking hands behind you, drawing the chest towards the shin. Breathing into the back side of the right hip, into the right glute. Keeping jaw soft, breath even. We'll begin to shift our left foot towards the right glute, crossing the legs, but not dropping the knee on top of the opposite knee. The knee is folded over, preparing for a spinal twist. We'll inhale the arms up to the sky, and then exhale towards your right. You can hug your right knee towards the chest, or draw your elbow outside of your thigh. Since it's our first twist of the day, taking it easy. Gaze can come towards the back. Again, maybe slightly dropping the chin towards your collarbone. Or shifting your chin towards the front shoulder to find some release in the side of the neck and jaw. I know for me, that's where I hold my tension. We'll inhale back to center, and we'll take the opposite cross of the leg. So right foot to the mat, left ankle crosses over right thigh. And again, walking your chest towards your shin. Keeping jaw soft, chest open. We'll begin to shift our right foot towards our left glute, grounding the other leg. Knee is lifted up, not planted on the other knee. And we'll inhale the arms up, and this time take a twist to the left. Free hand rests behind you, keeping the spine long, and taking the gaze to a place that feels comfortable for your neck and jaw. We'll inhale, reach arms up, uncross the legs, and come to a tabletop position. And in your tabletop position, begin to round the spine up and down for your cat and cow. Returning to tabletop position, extend the right leg long behind you on the mat. Toes onto the mat, and then we'll slide the right toes past the left edge of the mat and gaze towards your leg, towards your foot, past the left shoulder. Big, deep inhales into side body. Slide it back into line with your hip and begin to lift up the right heel towards the sky. We'll hold it here and begin to draw circles with the right heel on the wall behind you, keeping navel drawn towards the spine. You can take it to the opposite direction. We'll plant the knee, exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift the chest and the tailbone, and return to neutral spine. Extend the left leg long behind you, and slide it past the right edge of the mat, gazing past right shoulder. Big inhale into side body. We'll slide the foot back in line with the hip, and then begin to lift it off of the mat, heel in line with hip, drawing circles with your left heel, warming up the glutes, keeping your core strong, seeing if the only movement can come from that hip joint, take the circles in the opposite direction. We'll drop the knee down to the mat, and now drop your hips back towards the heels and begin to draw circles. So we drop the hips towards the mat, forward, and then back. From here, we'll spread the fingers wide, tuck the toes under, and come to downward facing dog, where we can bend one knee at a time, pedaling out the legs, warming up the body. Taking a walk to the space in between the hands, we'll come to forward fold. Grabbing opposite elbows, we can sway side to side. Drop the hands down to the mat, bend into the knees and slowly roll it up. Inhale, reach the shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. Arms rest alongside the body. We're grounded through our feet. We're lifted from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. You can close the eyes or just bring a soft gaze forward. Again, returning and dropping awareness from your head into the place of peace and calm that resides within you, moving in a calm, intentional way through asana practice. Inhale, we'll sweep the arms up to the sky. And exhale, let's fold it forward. Inhale with our half lift. And exhale, plant our hands, high plank pose. I know you all, so I know you all know what you're doing. You can take through your chaturanga, your knees, chest, chin, your cobra, or upward facing dog, broad open heart. And exhale to downward facing dog. Let's take a moment to warm up those hamstrings or to spend some focus on that hamstring. So place your right toes in front of your left toes. And then right heel in front of your left toes. And then left heel in front of right toes. Slow walk towards the front of the mat, bending the knees if you need to, or coming up onto the fingertips until you're in a forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale with your half lift once you're there. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we sweep the arms up to the sky. We'll bring the palms to touch. And exhale to the heart space. So let's do another Sane, moving with our own breath at our own pace, taking any variation of chaturanga or upward facing dog that feels best for your body. Once we're in downward facing dog, we'll place the left heel in front of the right heel. And again, take a slow walk to the space in between the hands. Half lift with an inhale once you're there. And exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive, sweeping up. Palms touch. We exhale, hands to heart space. So take one more Sane and move with your own breath at your own pace. This time we'll lift our right leg high to the sky. Once we're in downward facing dog, you can bend the knee, roll out the ankle, roll out the knee. Open through right quadriceps and right hip flexor, evenly pressed into both hands. Extend the right leg long with an inhale, and exhale, draw the knee into the chest. Hold it there. Extend your right leg over towards the left side of your mat and peel your left arm up to the sky for a fallen triangle pose. We'll drop our hand down to the mat, knee back into chest, three-legged dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose and right foot in between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Arms reach up to the sky. Left leg reaches back, left heel reaches back. Lengthen out the right leg, reach up tall. Exhale, return to your lunge. Drop your bottom knee towards the mat, back knee towards the mat, and extend long. Reaching forward with your exhale. We'll inhale, reach up. Cactus the arms. And exhale, return hands to the mat to move through your vinyasa. Or press to downward facing dog. Beautiful. We'll lift our left leg to the sky, bend it at the knee. We can roll out our ankle or open up through the hip joint. Extend leg long with an inhale. And exhale, knee to nose. Holding here, navel to spine. Extend left leg towards right side of the mat. And peel right arm up to the sky. Dropping right hand down, knee into chest. Extend, three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Left foot in between the hands. And we sweep up, crescent lunge. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, return to your lunge. Inhale, drop the knee. Exhale, return. Take a big inhale here. And exhale, we'll reach forward. Inhale, we reach back, slightly cactusing the arms. And inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat and return. Oh no. Hello?
I can still hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there we go. Okay, well, I lost you all, but there we are. Now we're all here, thank you. Take a big inhale and a full exhale. Can you all still hear me and see me? Yes, okay, because okay, thank you. Now I'm just gonna keep going. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, right foot in between the hands. And we'll inhale to warrior two. Pivoting back heel to the mat, low in our lunge, arms out to a T. Straighten out your right leg, shift your hips back, reach forward with right hand, come to triangle pose. We'll shift our gaze forward, bend into right knee, ground your right hand, lift left leg up. We're in our half moon. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Block or toilet paper roll underneath your hand to support if you need it. Chest and pelvis open towards long edge of the mat. Slow release to extended side angle. Take a big inhale. With the exhale, you can come to a bind. Shift your gaze up or down. We'll inhale to warrior two. Open up towards the long edge of the mat. Wide-legged squat. Shift now your right heel out, coming to warrior two towards the back of the mat. Lengthen out the left leg. Shift your hips back and drop left hand to the mat, to the inside of your left leg. Shifting gaze forward again, bending into left knee. We launch into half moon. Now on left leg, right leg lifts. Pelvis open, chest open. Bend into left knee, step back. We're in extended side angle. Now, like you're drawing a rainbow with the fingertips, we'll come back to warrior two towards the front of the mat. Take a big inhale. And exhale, cartwheel hands to mat to move through your vinyasa. We'll lift our left leg high to the sky with an inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, left foot in between the hands. Warrior two with our inhale. Straightening out our left leg, shifting hips back, triangle pose. So take notice here, roll your left hip under, try to roll right hip on top, stacking shoulders. Shift your gaze towards the front of the mat, moving with that calm centeredness. We come into our half moon pose. As we hold half moon, we can express in a way that feels intuitive to us. Perhaps we reach for the top leg. Maybe we bring the bottom hand towards the heart. The standing leg can have a little bend in it. Our top leg is active. We'll bend into the left knee, bring it back, extended side angle. Here in extended side angle, again, we can express in a way like taking a wrap around the low back. Maybe the fingers touch for a full bind. We'll open up warrior two and open up towards long edge of the mat. Wide-legged squat and exhale towards the back. Inhale, lengthen the right leg and we come into triangle pose. Now coming now into our fourth half moon, really try to keep that chest and pelvis open, launching into your standing balance. Again, hand can come to heart, or you can reach for your lifted ankle. We'll bend into the right knee, coming back, extended side angle. Now, like you're drawing a rainbow with your fingertips, coming towards the front of the mat, warrior two, finding solid grounding, lifted through the spine. Exhale, cartwheel hands to mat. Move through your vinyasa. Take a big inhale here. Exhale through the mouth. We'll shift the gaze to the space in between the hands and we'll walk up or float to seated in that space. Coming to Navasana. So we've got some options for our boat pose. Our hands can come to the mat to support us. Our feet can be on the mat to support us. Our hands are going to reach forward like we're telling like stop. And just a slight constriction here. We're not coming all the way down. We're just holding it and seeing if we can draw the knees and the chest in towards each other a little bit more. So the exhales, you pulse in, inhale is the release. Let's bring the soles of the feet to touch and come into butterfly position, taking a bit of a counter pose. We'll draw the knees in towards each other and roll onto our back. Hands rest alongside the body, feet up towards the sky. Hands can come underneath the low back if you're sensitive in the low back, drawing navel towards the spine. So we want to feel transverse abdominis engage. By doing this, we really draw low belly in towards spine and start to drop one heel at a time towards the mat. So if this is asking a little too much of the low back, you can bend the knees and drop the heel one at a time. You can keep with this option, or you can begin to lift the head and reach for opposite foot with opposite hand. Keeping the area between the hip bones engaged, no matter which option you're choosing.
Beautiful work. We'll draw the knees into the chest. Bring the soles of the feet to touch. Grab the outsides of the feet and have a supine butterfly stretch. We'll draw the knees in towards the chest and begin to rock and roll along the spine. Some of us will rock and roll all the way through a vinyasa. Others of us will come to downward facing dog. Looking to the space between our hands, we'll lift the heels, bend the knees, and walk, hop, or float to that space. Inhale with a half lift. Exhale your forward fold. Bend into the knees and slowly roll it up. Tops of shoulders roll up and back. Arms rest alongside the body. And we take a moment, eyes closed or soft gaze forward, feeling breath travel through the nostrils to the lungs. Dropping awareness, once again, if we need the remembrance, from the head into the calm center of peace and presence. We'll stand on the right leg and bring the left foot up our right leg for tree pose. So I'll bring mine to the upper thigh, but you can also bring it to the calf. Hands can come to heart space. I'm creating a little lotus flower with my hands here. You can have prayer position as well. So really draw the crown of the head up, strong in the standing leg, and reach the arms up to the sky. And then see if you can draw the hands over towards the left side, lengthening through the right side body. We'll inhale, reach tall, point your knee forward, and then step back, crescent lunge. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, return to your lunge. Inhale, drop back knee. Exhale, we extend long. Pause to inhale. And exhale, reach forward. Inhale, reach back. Cactus the arms. Now, from here, we're going to open up to warrior two. So right leg forward, left leg back. Lengthen out right leg, shift hips back, triangle pose. From your triangle pose, perhaps you can try the bind here. So this is a tough one. You would reach your right arm underneath the right hip, left arm across the low back, but this asks a lot of the hamstrings. So you need to have a micro bend in the right knee anyway. And maybe the fingers touch, maybe they don't. Maybe you're just enjoying a half wrap. Now for those who are in the bind, you can keep it and see if you can come to half moon with a bind. If not, we'll come to half moon with right arm down. Left hand can be wrapped around the low back. We'll bend into right knee, landing in extended side angle. Inhale to 5-pointed star, open towards long edge of the mat. Exhale, wide-legged squat. I'm bringing my hands to my hip creases here. I'm going to take that left arm up and reach it over, finding length through side body. Coming back to neutral, I'm going to ground that left hand and reach right arm up and over. Bringing my hand back to my hip creases, shifting that left foot back to warrior two position, right toes point forward, returning to warrior two. Let's exhale, ground the hands to the mat and move through our vinyasa of choice. Taking a look at the space between our hands with our next exhale, walk, hop, or float to that space. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending into knees and slowly rolling up. Shoulders roll up and back. Now we'll stand on the left leg and right foot up in line with our calf or our upper thigh. Hands to heart space. So when we stand in balanced poses, this really does ask us to keep that calm, peaceful mindfulness, because when our mind wanders elsewhere, it's really hard to keep balance. We'll lift our arms up if we haven't already, and we'll start to draw the hands over towards the right side. Keeping low belly engaged, jaw soft. Presence in this moment. We'll lift back up with an inhale. Point our knee forward and step back, crescent lunge. Arms sweep up about shoulders distance apart. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, back to that lunge. Inhale, drop the knee. Exhale, we lengthen out. Big inhale. Exhale, sweep forward. Inhale, open up. And exhale, oops, now we open up to warrior two. Lengthening out left leg, returning to triangle pose. So a little micro bend in that knee, pelvis and shoulder open towards long edge. Perhaps you take right arm around low back. Maybe you attempt left arm underneath left hip. Again, this is a very difficult wrap to take. It helps if you have very long arms, and if you don't, well then there's not much you can do about it. So, or very open hamstrings. So we'll shift our gaze forward. You can keep the bind or ground left hand to mat or block and reach right leg up, half moon. Bend into left knee, step back slow and controlled, extended side angle. Inhale, we release up, 5-pointed star. Now we're gonna slightly pitch and toe our feet, hands to hip points, and then up and over like you're coming over a bar to wide-legged forward fold this time. Options for the hands include reaching for your big toes with your peace sign fingers, clasping the hands behind you for shoulder opener. If it's in your practice, taking any inversion like headstand, or maybe you want to find some movement and sway side to side. If we are not on our feet, let's return to our feet. And we'll turn towards the front of our mat, returning to warrior two. Nice and strong and balanced here between right leg and left leg, right arm and left arm. Rising tall through the spine. Exhale, hands to mat, taking that vinyasa. Take a big inhale. And exhale, knees to the mat. Let's take a child's pose. In child's pose, the palms can touch behind the head for prayer position. Arms can reach alongside the body towards the back of the mat. With our third eye grounded to the mat or to a block, it's easy, I think, to gain a little bit of introspection when we're in this pose. Feeling the whole torso move with our lungs. Feeling your body breathe itself. We'll reach our arms out towards the front of our mat, returning to our downward facing dog. And so one of my requests today was hips. So we'll lift our right leg high to the sky. And we'll draw the right knee towards our right wrist or towards the right edge of our mat, coming to pigeon. So we'll ground the knee. Left leg is long behind us. But I don't want to drop it down yet because our hips are not just, well, basically our hip flexors are right here on the front side. So we're gonna open up through the hip flexors here, keeping the chest lifted. And fists can be on the mat if this is uncomfortable to place weight on your wrists. And if you need support underneath your glute, please shove something underneath there, block, meditation cushion. So our hip flexors and our low back work together, really. And if we're having low back issues, then we can pretty much guarantee that we have tight hip flexors. So this is a nice pose to release that. And now we can begin to drop the chest down towards the mat. We can rest on forearms or even drop our chest all the way down. And this will, you might still feel it in the hip flexors on the left leg, but this probably will draw a little more sensation into the glutes on the right side. Let's begin to lift up our chest. We'll place the hands underneath us on our shoulders and actually let's come back to tabletop. So not downward facing dog, but to tabletop. And in tabletop, round the spine or maybe draw circles with the hips. Then we'll eventually return to downward facing dog. And extend the left leg behind us. We'll bend the knee and place the knee over towards the left edge of our mat by our left wrist. And extend the right leg long behind us and stay lifted again. So fists to the mat if this is a lot of pressure on the wrists. Again, feeling this mostly in the right hip flexors. Soften the jaw. Just take stock of what's there. Especially as we get to be more active, hiking, maybe running. It's important to keep this area of the body open and stretched. And then we can begin to drop the chest again. Let's begin to lift our chest up, planting hands underneath the shoulders, and again, coming to tabletop, moving body in a way that feels good for the low back and hips. We'll cross our ankles over and take a seat on the mat. Let's take it to a wide-legged forward fold. I don't think you can see my legs. Legs are out wide, maybe not as wide as they possibly could be, but they're still out wide. And if you have a tendency to sort of sit back, see if you can lift the chest and bring your chest forward, keeping pelvis tilted slightly forward. And then you can just sort of walk the hands forward. I'm going to walk my hands over to the right and reach for my right foot. Feeling a bit of release in my QLs here, my low back on the left side. And we'll come over to the opposite side through the center, releasing the low back on the right side. Returning back to the center, walking my hands up, grab it outside of the legs and draw them in towards the chest. And then wrap your arms around the knees and drop forehead to knees, give yourself a hug. With the soles of the feet grounded, we'll reach arms forward and roll onto our back slowly. Rolling out the knees, one hand on each knee, rolling out the hips. I'm going to place the soles of the feet on the mat, about hip distance apart. Arms rest alongside the body, snuggle shoulders underneath you, broaden the heart space. Jaw soft. Back of the neck long. Inhale, lift hips up. Weight roll towards big toes. Perhaps clasping the hands under the tailbone. Releasing legs down or tailbone down. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Arms reach out to a T. And we'll shift our hips to the left, to the right as we drop knees to the left. Spinal twist. If twisted roots is too much, uncrossing the legs and placing one knee on top of the other knee. Soft jaw, deep breaths to low back. We'll release the cross of the legs and return the right hip to the mat. Left leg crossing over right leg now. Shifting hips to left, knees drop to right. A release of this spinal twist. And at this time, I invite you to take any last poses or make any last movements that will help you to complete your practice. Finding the final pose of Shavasana. With the shoulders snuggled underneath us, the back of the neck long, the jaw and face soft. Feeling gravity anchor us to the mat. We allow the body to breathe itself, releasing control of the breath. We soften through the third eye, feeling space in the throat, a sense of levity through the heart, grounded through the feet. We allow ourselves to enter our final meditation. We'll send breath to the third eye. Awakening in the heart. A big deep breath to the soles of the feet. And introducing a bit of movement to the joints. And rolling out the wrists or the ankles, head side to side. We'll take a nice big stretch with an inhale. Exhale, knees into chest. And then we roll to one side. Pressing ourselves up to an easy seat. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Palms come to touch. And we exhale, hands to heart space. Big inhale into every cell, these feelings of peace, calm, and presence. Exhale, we share with our dedication. Thank you for joining me on this Friday. I appreciate your presence, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. Namaste.